Welcome back to Call Her Creator, the podcast for entrepreneurs, creators, and personal brands who are ready to stop being the best kept secret on the internet. If you're tired of chasing new trends on the internet and you want to learn how to build a brand that keeps opening doors year after year, this episode is for you because today's guest is someone I am honored to have on the show. She is incredible. She's been doing the creator thing before most people even knew being a creator was a career. So Amy Landino is a best-selling author, speaker, entrepreneur, and one of the original YouTube creators. I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you'll see I was just commenting how beautiful her background is. Definitely coming here with a steam. But what I'm most excited to talk to today with Amy is not just her productivity and what she's built, but the longevity of it all. In a world where creators come and go, Amy has really stayed relevant. She's evolved her brand and she's continued building influence year after year. So today we're going to talk about what it takes to build that personal brand that she's done that lasts, how the creator economy has changed, what's still working, what's not, and all the lessons that she's learned from the past 15 years showing up online. Amy, welcome to Call Her Creator.
Amazing intro. Thank you, Caitlin. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, I'm thrilled that you're here. And I need to know, like, the first things first is I like to tell people like their story because I know before we hit record, Amy's like, I would love to hear about you too. My story is that I really built something from nothing. I was not fed from a silver spoon, or I didn't have connections, all the things. So I like to know, like, where you at right now and how the heck did you get there? Like, tell us all the juicy details.
Wish I could tell you it was a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. I've had a really, really privileged last 20 years. It really has been. I joined YouTube in 2007. To the tune of like the fact that that's 20 years ago is insane to me. I didn't know it was like everyone's going to YouTube, by the way. Who's everyone? Like 10 people. Everyone's going to YouTube to like start a creator life. That's not what I received it as. I think there's definitely a number of people who got that memo before me. I think the platform had been around since 2006. But my first move was I found a video camera. I had a digital camera. We used to have to take digital cameras on vacation, if you remember back in the day, if you're that old like I am. And it had a video option on it. And I was in a wedding, and another bridesmaid and I thought, like, let's make a video. I found on my huge computer that took up my kitchen that there was Windows Movie Maker on it. We record clips of people, we edited it together, and we showed it at the rehearsal dinner. And it was just this moment that I had never had before of I made something all by myself. I've never really had this innate talent that I felt excited about. And I was able to affect feelings upon an audience of people with my work. And that was brand new for me. It really, really, or at least if I had done that before, it didn't resonate with me, if it resonated with others. This was that aha moment of I found something I'm good at.
Oof.
That's how I found YouTube, because that first video was burned on a DVD. Okay. So I didn't know. I'm like, this is fun. How do I keep doing this? I don't want to keep doling out DVDs. So that's how I found YouTube. It was a video hosting platform for me. And then I learned very quickly that it was more than that. I started sharing my life there. That led to people going, you're really good at this. And I found out about the social media marketing industry, and I started side hustling in that world while working in corporate for a law firm. And the rest is history. It just grows and grows and grows. And as I'm sure you're aware, Caitlin, every time you create something new, it just continues to chip away at what you're learning about yourself in addition to what people are learning from you. And the more you give that machine, which can be a positive and a negative sometimes, but the more you give that machine, the more you learn about yourself, the more people learn about you, and it can evolve. I mean, I've pivoted like twice at least in big ways since then, because we're not the same people after that period of time, especially as you do and you learn more. So where I started side hustling as a social media marketer, I now have decided, I don't want an agency. I don't want that kind of a business. I've moved on, and now I'm doing a lot more productivity and business coaching for entrepreneurs and writing books and speaking on stages. And the business took a form today that I never could have predicted at that point. And that's the very short version.
What were you doing at the time when you made that video for work?
I was in corporate. I was working for a law firm. I thought I was going to go to law school. So I said, let me go and work at a law firm and see if I like it. Wow. Smart decision.
Were you,
Sucked.
were,
Like it was like
were you
I
doing
liked my job. I
Yeah.
liked my job because I got promoted from receptionist to working for a lobbyist. But that was a brand new department. I'd been there for about a year and a half when he came on. Everyone else in that firm was corporate litigation. So you're talking about like the biggest drag of legal work and long hours and service letters. So I learned quickly I didn't want to do that. But then I got to be part of the hip side of the business. I was going to school for poli-sci. And so I really was in the best place, which is actually what made it very hard to decide to leave. Because I was like, wow, I actually found the right place for me here. But there wasn't like a next move. I was either going to go work on a campaign and fundraise after that or something else. And that something else, thank goodness, was something I was working on the side.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So, growing up, I feel like women especially are told, marry a rich man or go do a job that makes a lot of money. So, did you think you were interested in law because of the money?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I actually knew exactly what I was supposed to do. You're supposed to go to college. You're supposed to get a job. But when I was going to college, let me paint this picture for you. I'm going to college and I decided to go work for that law firm. I had a very unconventional college life. I moved out at 18. I'd been working ever since. So I was doing university in the ways that I could with a job. When I got that law firm job, I was taking class. I was taking a Spanish class on my lunch break because the school was so close by. I was going to school in the evenings. I was going to school online. I was doing what I could. When I got promoted to that position, it was about time for my, main curriculum for the major, which is only offered between Monday through Thursday from 8 to 3. And I already had the job where my generation was graduating because I was going so much slower, but they're graduating and they're moving back in with mom. And now you're talking about the beginning of the millennials going back home and not being able to buy in the housing market and things tanking in 2007, 2008. So it made no sense for me to even leave that job to finish school because I had the job everyone would have wanted with my major. So it panned out. Again, guilt trip for wanting to leave that situation a couple years later. But it's crazy how you just follow your instincts sometimes. And today, I would love to go back to college. Like, I'm a completely different person. I'd be thrilled. I'd be the nerdiest front row seater. And I would be going for something very different because I would really want it that badly. So I just think it's a story and you just do the best you can with where you're at.
With where you're at. Wow, our stories are so similar because I too, when I went to college in 2009, but the crash had happened that year before. So my parents could not help me in any way, shape, or form. And so I was taking classes while also juggling 2 jobs, while also having 3 internships. So I couldn't experience college the way that I wanted to. But one thing I do not regret is I did go to school for something that I really wanted to do, even though everyone was like, you're never going to get a job doing that. I went to school to be a news anchor. Um, and I know it's so funny. And then,
Dude, I always thought I was going to be a news anchor.
really, I swear,
Always.
we're so
There's
sisters.
something about having all the information. Like before social media existed, it was like, I want to be the person that knows everything and tells the world. Like, I don't know why. That's what I wanted to do.
I loved it. I loved video. So also similar stories. When I was a kid, I would make videos, but the difference between me and you is you made your first video about other people. I was front and center, hi, welcome to my show today. And it was awful. We're little, before, money and you had to think about all this stuff. But when you were little, did you know that you wanted to create? Did you feel artsy in a sort of way or anything?
I felt the complete opposite of artsy. Because I learned I wasn't artsy. Now, notice how I said that. I learned that. Like, I made that decision from experience of my circumstances that I wasn't artsy. Let me tell you why. My very, very good friend Lewis in elementary school was destined to be an architect. Just destined. The guy had handwriting that nobody could read, like he'd been a doctor for 30 years. But his artistry was incredible. He would draw me pictures. We would be in art class and we'd be making clay mugs, and everyone else just needs the handle to stick on. And he's got a full-blown detailed dragon on the front of his. So when you have those moments and they become core memories, clearly, because I've talked about that one a lot, that you go, oh, well, I must not be very creative. But we are all here to create. We are creators. We are co-creators in this life. And we just learn these limiting beliefs from experience. And if nobody helps us see past that, it's very hard to learn otherwise. It takes a lot of unlearning. So what I did probably notice, that the first thing I thought of when you asked the question was when I was much smaller. And my sister and I would have one of those boom boxes. And I remember wanting to play radio DJ and just having that blank tape. If y'all know what a cassette tape is, and pressing play and record, and then hearing it back and going, oh my God, that's what I sound like. And being a little mortified, but kind of intrigued by it. So that's it. That was as close as creative as I am to where I am today.
Have you ever reached out to Lewis and said, thank you?
Yeah, he's a great friend. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely. Yes. I tell him all the time, I'm like, this is your fault, but go on and build all those fancy buildings in Chicago. Like, that's great. But like, I'm so happy for him that he found that. And he also had crazy other amounts of creativity that he knew that it wasn't just about go and use your artistry for this type of job.
Yes.
He's a talented artist in so many ways. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that he like does graffiti. I think in some places you're allowed to do it. In some places you are not. But he does it where he's allowed. And he's incredible at it. So he just has so many ways he gets to express himself. He learned that he could. He learned he could try it early on. And I think that's all any of us want, is the permission to try stuff. And most of us didn't get it. Most of us were told to try doing things that another generation finally learned, oh, that's what I was supposed to do. And now they go to their own kids and say, here you go. This is what you're supposed to do. Do not veer from this plan. So we don't try things.
And we don't know till we try. Let's go back. Okay, so we're going back to the wedding. You're working to make that. The main reason why I started this podcast is because I want people to know there are people working a job right now that they absolutely hate.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sacrificing their time, their kids, their whole life for that job. And I want you guys to know, if that is you and you're listening to this, there is a way out. It's not easy, because same with me. I was working corporate and I started doing stuff on the side. So is that how did you dip your toe and you're like, okay, I'm good at this, let me start doing some projects on the side while you're still working full time? Or like,
yes. So to your point, and I want to say to everyone, I know exactly where you are. I think I was very fortunate that I didn't hate my job. I hated that the possibility was so great. And I had sold my hours for a lower rate. I didn't like that. And I didn't learn that until later, but I knew I was losing out. But at that moment where it was just cobbling together clips and editing and having that moment, that was a very important moment. But there was another moment that happened that, because I learned to edit video, I started to vlog, like very traditional vlogging on YouTube. And I was trying to film my friends, but they were like annoyed with me after a certain period of time. So I had to get on camera eventually, Caitlin. And so that's what I did. And I started sharing in that way. And I was learning about Facebook, and then I was learning about Twitter. And I'm like, what are these other things? Like, because, Facebook was only in colleges and I didn't have access to it until I had access to it. Then I was good at it, but I was good at it because I was so excited to be connecting with people and being like, do you guys remember this when you were excited to see someone on Facebook that you haven't seen in forever? Because high school was so long ago. And you're like, whoa, I can friend them and we can connect and I can share photos. If we go to the bar, we can tag each other. That was such a big deal. So I was obsessed with it. And a good friend of mine who had moved to the Midwest to get married was from San Diego, graphic designer. And she asked me about privacy settings on Facebook or something. This is like a year or two into my YouTube vlogging.
Okay.
And
What
she
year was
said,
it, by the way?
oh, 2008, 2009. Yeah. And she said, um, I fixed her privacy settings up. She's like, you're really good at that. And I was like, okay. Like, it's this fun thing we do. She goes, no. She's like, my client in San Diego has somebody who does social media for her. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is like beyond. Absolutely no information has flown into my algorithm anywhere on this. That is not happening yet. That information is not there. You got to dig deep. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And that's how I learned. And so the first thing I did was just get completely obsessed with it. I learned a skill that can be sold. What? What? Are you like, I'm not going to go be a filmmaker. Like, I had not understood what the gravity of this skill set was going to be. And I just looked into it. And the first thing I did, I was talking to my boyfriend at the time, and he had a friend who was in his industry, and that friend was starting a magazine locally. She had gone to culinary school, and there's a line of magazines called Edible, and she was going to start Edible Columbus in Ohio. And he said, you should hit her up. That's great content. Like, you could totally do social media for her. That's exactly what I did. I went back and read the email too. It was like way too long of an email. I was like, basically, like, I know you and you know me, but we don't know each other. And it's because of your husband and my boyfriend and blah, 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 blah. Can I please do social media for your company? I'll do it for free. And she was like, okay. And that was my first client. Everybody else was paid after that. She sponsored me to go to conferences. Like, every single bit of value you ever give, you can get value back for. If you have to give yourself away for free at the beginning because you just can't comprehend charging someone or stand on 2 feet about it, get the video testimonial, get the sponsorship, get the free flight to something to go meet more people, get something out of it and negotiate those terms early. That's all that I did was like, can you just do this for me? Okay, great. I'm 100% yours. And then the company ended up growing, and the next CEO didn't even like me. It worked out great. Like, I didn't want the free client anymore. We all graduated from each other, but it was the best. It was the best because I needed that confidence. I really needed it. But again, smart people telling me, wow, that's cool. And you actually being able to receive that. What do you mean, wow?
Yeah.
I actually know something interesting, cool, helpful, valuable. You have to pull on that thread. No one's going to hold your hand to get there. You have to keep learning it.
I love that. The most interesting thing you just said to me, though, was you became obsessed with it.
Mm.
And that's one thing I want others to know too, is like, if you really have a passion for something, guess what? It's not ever going to get handed to you. That's maybe 1 in a million when that shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go the frick after it. And you have
Mm-hmm.
to become obsessed with it, and you have to immerse yourself in it. Same happened with me. I was working for corporate at an apartment complex, showing off apartments. I freaking hated it because it was like 9 to 6. It was like the worst hours. I had an hour drive there. So it was like all day long. And then one day my boss drops a book on my desk, Likeable Social Media. This was like 2014, so I'm a little behind you, obviously. But I do remember, side note, 2009, when you were doing your thing, I had my friends coming over from MySpace, and they were like, will you code this for me? And I'm over there coding, and they're like, okay,
Ooh.
talking to their boyfriend on the phone, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. Um,
100%.
but
Oh,
it starts
man.
with like this little seed, guys, and then you decide like, wow, wait, maybe I do like something like this. And then, as Amy said, sometimes you got to start off doing it free. And I did the same thing. I offered it free to a friend to get better and better. And so I think that's very important that we tell people that, because a lot of people just think. And another thing I want to add here too, when I was little, the people that were in sports and running, like maybe they were in track and field or something, they're the best runners ever. I truly thought that it was always like, yes, God gave them this gift.
Yes.
They trained. They trained. They were out there training, just like me and Amy. We're not just learning how to do this stuff. She's putting in the work. She started scrappy, and look at where you're at now. So, like, continue on. So you do these things for free, and then you start picking. When did you quit your full-time job?
So it was first, let me say this. I remember the day I decided
Okay.
I remember the day I decided
Me
because
too.
I felt so much guilt. Like I was like, "Oh my gosh. I have a nice chair, I get free candy, I have profit sharing. I didn't finish college. I have the job I would have gotten if I did. I can kind of like work that out as an even keel thing. I'm going to leave. Like I have to leave." And the senior partner has been incredible to me. My immediate partner has been amazing. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm going to leave." And I could not sleep. I'm a good sleeper, guys. I could not sleep that night, and I still didn't leave for a year. It
No.
not because I couldn't. It was just, let me get some more reps in. I can't leave yet, but the decision was so clear. I just know that day, like it, and then it all just became, how do I do it? And I went to, my boyfriend. I was like, "Hey, we've been dating for a while, so I'm moving in." And he was like, "No," and I was like, "That's fine, but then I'm going to move in with my parents because I'm going to make this change." My apartment was $600 a month at the time. Like, can we go back to that? Like, oh
Graduating.
my God. Oh my God. I wish I would have kept that apartment. But no, I don't. My boyfriend's place was fantastic. And he was a huge aspect of why I was able to take a lot of liberties, but I would have made that sacrifice anyway. I told him, "Okay, fine. I'll move in with my parents, but I'm definitely done with you," because we've been dating for 3 years. And so that's just where we're at. I'm making this, I have to go all in on it. It has to work. And if it doesn't, fine, I'll go fundraise on a campaign. There's always that, but like it has to work because I'm so clear about it. So that year became about, what can I do? How many more clients can I get? How many more reps can I get in? But if you want to hear the story about how I covered my entire paycheck and then said, "Goodbye, thank you, I'm making more money than I'm making here," it didn't happen. It just
Mm,
didn't happen that way. There's absolutely the ability for people to do that. There are a lot of people who are much better at asking for the sale than I was at that time. I had the confidence in my skill set. I didn't have the confidence as a salesperson. I was making money. I still said, like, "You need to pay me." But I wasn't making as much money as I could have been. It doesn't matter. You are still never going to be happy in the business or making enough money or even be able to scale it in a way that makes you feel good about the fact that you took on this risky ass job that is being a freelancer for your own business to make equal or less money. Like, you should not do that. But to do that, and you have to give hours someplace else, you're just not going to get there. You're not going to believe in yourself. You can't have feet in both camps for that long. And if you really think it's going to work, it will work. If you decide it will work, you have to be 100% certain that it will work because you will give it what it takes. And if you do at least that, you'll absolutely. The day I left, I emailed everybody I had met in the industry up to that point, and I said, "I just want you to know I just left my job and I had full-time work in a couple of weeks." Because people do not have faith in you when you're not available before 5 p.m. to
mhm.
get on a phone call. Like that at that stage, right? You're not side DMing people this
Mhm.
day and age.
Yeah, it's a lot easier now, I feel like. Were
Yeah.
you a perfectionist, by the way, or are you?
I'm a hugely recovering perfectionist. I,
Okay.
I edited my own YouTube content for way too many years.
Okay.
Way too many. And that has a lot to do with perfectionism and holding on to things.
I'm just thinking, like, you stayed for a year. I'm wondering if that was because you felt like you had to perfect it.
In a sense, like maybe in the sense that, like, "Oh, I don't have enough experience yet."
Mhm.
Um, but it was just the balance of fear. It was just the balance of fear. And then, but also having that much clarity, it was like, what can I do to combat that fear? Because I have to leave. I
Mhm.
have to.
Mhm. I love how you said after you left, you wrote an email that day saying, "Hi, I'm available," basically.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I got immediately on Facebook and said, "Hey guys, I quit my
Mm-hmm.
job."
Mm-hmm.
Social
And
media.
the worst case scenario is that you talk to people and they're like, "Oh, wow." And they just want to talk to you about how you actually quit and they barely are like interested in, but they might know someone. So as long as you have a plan when you talk to anyone so that they're like, "Well, what do?" You have to be able to elegantly explain how you help people And just like, well, if you know anyone like this and they need help with that, then send them to me. And if they go, oh, that's me. Well, there you have it. It's really that simple. You should network with everyone. You don't know who knows someone. You just don't. And that's a great thing to do. Even if you don't get the work immediately, you have to start spreading the word like wildfire, because word of mouth is a great source. It's not the only source. Social media has proven that we can all do all of this without telling any of our friends and family if we just start uploading content. But that's how you start to scale it up so you don't have to wait for mom and dad to send you like a friend.
Right. No, I love that. And that's so true. That's why I'm saying I truly feel like it's so easy at this point to tell everyone, hey, I'm available for work, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Let's get into YouTube for a second, since that's
Okay.
where you kind of went into. Do you still recommend YouTube today? Like if someone's starting from scratch as a content creator, would you tell them to go to YouTube?
That's a very good question. I can't say no because it's built my entire career. I also can't say no because they're all competing with each other and it has short form going for it. Let me frame it this way because I think everybody needs to make their own decision. I got my start on YouTube. So my skill set is very much built in horizontal, long form talky talk. Lots of talky talk. My sister is huge on TikTok. And she really got her start during the pandemic, like really got her start in the pandemic. And so she's a vertical queen, right? And that started with dancing and singing and then sharing the family. And now she yaps a bit more, which is great because people need more of her personality. When she was prompted to start a YouTube channel, I was like, cool. So you're going to upload your short form there. And she said, well, yeah, but they want me to vlog once a week. And I said, well,
It's different.
don't start unless you're going to keep on going.
Yeah.
It's a different world. Retention rates in short form are not the same as retention rates in long form. What I mean by that is, are you worth watching for a percentage of the video? Because the amount of energy and time that goes into one long form piece is astronomical compared to what you have to do in short form. I think we all put a lot of time and energy into both. I'm not saying you don't put energy into short form because there's some fancy stuff happening in short form. Believe me, I get that. But with what has to happen for long form to work for you, my sister was a trooper. She uploaded a vlog every week and she did it for a year. But when it's not where most of the traction is coming from, it doesn't make sense to continue using resources on it unless you have it completely scaled and have a team supporting you on that. So she's back. She's still doing YouTube, but like all the short form life pretty much everywhere, I think is what she's focused on the most. She might be doing a little bit of long form. I haven't kept up with it. Now, here's what I'll say. If you're serious, very serious about being a thought leader, about having real influence, about people caring what you have to say, you can do that in short form, but you build a massive amount more trust with long form. I just believe that. There's a reason why people come to follow me on Instagram. It's not because I'm amazing like Caitlin. It's because I have a ton of credibility in a lot of other areas as an author, as a long form educator on YouTube. So I think it depends on what you want to do. But just like short form, with long form, you can have a great template. If anybody wants to come to my Instagram, just send me just send me Call Her Creator and I'll send it to you for free. It's basically my template for how do you open a video. Because just like in short form, it tells you how to do the whole thing, but the opening is really important. Just like in short form, you need that hook. You need a hook at the beginning of long form. If you can get that right, and if you can get the title and the thumbnail right, people will watch you for 4 hours, 20 minutes. You don't have to dial it into a 15-second short form video if you can go on and teach somebody something much more substantial in a long form piece, if that's what you want to do. You could be a vlogger and share your life for that amount of time. Do you know how many people love throwing that on their YouTube channel, on their TV? They'll watch an hour-long vlog of someone's life. They're in the garden. People love it. So it just it depends on what your goals are. And I think a lot of people feel very comfortable in short form land because it's quick. It's quick.
And easier. It is easier.
It is easier. Watching yourself back from every angle in all these ways and talking, like in long form, it's just a different animal.
How long did you edit your own videos before you hired someone
Oh my
to
God.
doing it?
I had hired my first full-timer in 2019. But like, yeah, it was a solid 15 years. There's
Oh
a
my
little,
God.
yeah, it was, here's the thing. Now remember, Caitlin, I went from, I'm not creative, I don't know how to do anything naturally, to, oh my God, I have the emotions of everybody in the palm of my hand. So that was my dopamine hit. My cadence, my comedic timing, the way I did fly-ins and like the way old school YouTube stuff that would be like silly and frilly and crazy. That was a part of the creative control. And so it was very hard to let go of. And I think that my style has changed to evolve with scaling up, because you're very much romanticizing something that really just I didn't need to do anymore, to be quite frank, but not just because I didn't need to do it, but because the direction I was going didn't really merit it anyway. It wasn't worth the extra energy spend.
Mm,
But I think it was good I was in the weeds for as long as I was,
yeah.
because I approach editors completely differently.
You
I don't
know,
expect them to like fix my face and then do this, and like I probably said that wrong. Like, I know what they're dealing with. If I sounded bad on audio, or if I said too many ums, or if I'm hard to cut, or if I'm sitting in the wrong place, I know how hard their life is if I don't get it right. So being on the back end helps me get a front end result that is even better, I think.
I love hearing all of this. I want to get on YouTube so bad. It's just so time consuming. And I own a social media agency. And so it sounds, did you own an agency? I don't remember
I
reading.
started out, it was mostly freelance, so it never got all the way to the point of an agency. But yes, that was technically what I was doing.
Girl, that's the biggest beast in my life right now because I love my agency. I have a team of, I'm actually at a team of 5 now, and we're doing
Wow.
really great. And I love it. And I love them. But you're talking about YouTube over here, and I'm in my head like, oh my God, I love making videos. I would love to just sit down and do a real YouTube video because I know I would be good at it. I just don't have the time.
Well, it depends on what is it for? Like, the question is, what is it for?
To build my personal brand.
Right.
I be like you, where people see me as an industry expert and not just the girl on Instagram who makes little fun videos. You know what I
So
mean?
the company then needs to get restructured in a way where you have been elevated to that talent level. And if there's still loose ends in the agency business that require you that are below that pay grade,
I need to hire.
yeah, that's where you're at.
I know. I need to hear you say that. I know. It's so.
I can't help it. I'm a coach, Caitlin. It's where I go.
It's probably like you too, though, where you stayed at the job for a year, and I said, like, why'd you stay that long? Like, it's me. Why am I staying this long? Because it's so scary to let go.
Yeah.
And
Meanwhile, your 5 team members are probably going, "Can she just get out of here? I got this."
Oh, for sure. They get so. And I'll tell them every other week, all right, guys, I'm really stepping out of Slack this week. So, like, don't even try to talk to me. And then I'll be in there.
See, this is, we think we're doing people favors when we do that.
I know.
Do you know what we're actually doing? We're teaching them that we are just as much of an employee.
Oh,
And I lecture people about this all the time. Like, I went to the office, I told my team I need a day off. And it's just like, that's not how that works, bro. You don't get vacation time. You took on all the risk. You pay the taxes. You're doing all these things. You need to go in as the leader and say, like, this is how I conduct myself now. So that's how I'm going to conduct myself. But also, you know to check me if I'm not. Because they should be asking you where your YouTube content is so they can load. You know what I mean? Like, the way you entered the company is not as someone who's like, what do you guys need? You're willing to be the janitor. You've been the janitor. You'll be the janitor. You'll take the trash out. But that is not what you get paid the big bucks for. So until you act like that, your team doesn't even know how to treat you like that.
so, okay. So here, this is your coaching coming in here too. Let's
Yeah.
say there's other people like me that, they started something that got them to where they're at now, but they know their next level is going to require someone different.
Yes.
What do you tell them to do in that situation?
Time audit is the first thing. You have to audit your time because time is this false construct we came up with as humans. However, we do pretty much live by it. So if you look at your time audit, and I'm not talking about most people listening to this, yeah, sure, you do some doom scrolling. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about what are you doing in the business or how much your time you're giving. The most eye-opening moment for me when I started hiring people, because that's the hardest part for anyone, especially if there's women listening. We're like, look how capable I am.
So capable.
So capable. Capability is killing us. We're trying to prove how smart we are, and it's doing nothing but it's demoting us. It's making us cheaper. We can take the trash out, so we do. And there's nothing wrong with that position, but it only pays what it pays. So the first thing you have to do is time audit. And the thing that opened my eyes to this was Michael Hyatt. Michael Hyatt is an incredible productivity and leadership, brilliant author, speaker, just fantastic guy. If you've never heard of Michael Hyatt, like, do your homework. He's fantastic. And I was listening to a podcast and he said, would you ever pay $500 an hour for an assistant to check your email and handle your calendar? And you're sitting there listening to the podcast and you're like, well, no, that sounds really expensive. $500 an hour. And he's like, you already are. It's you. And you suck at your job. And you're getting paid $500 an hour to check your email and to perfectly color label your Google Calendar. Get over yourself. So that was the first thing I did. I hired an outside agency and had somebody come in just part-time. I baby stepped it up. It was 10 hours a week. I think we can do that. And I said, okay, you can do my calendar. Let's start with the calendar. You got to baby step it. But when you time audit and you see, oh, I went back and forth with Amy to schedule that podcast and you didn't, but let's say you did. And in all, took you an hour and a half. You telling me you spent $750 on that just to get me on the phone? Come on. Now, this is where your time should be spent. So that an AI bot is not going to take over your job as talent. That's a completely different topic altogether. But your email, how much time you spend on your email? How much time are you spending writing emails? How much time are you spending going back and forth with AI, rewriting how you want this email to come off? Like, there's so much time that goes into that. And if you just said, it doesn't matter that much, and if it doesn't matter that much, and the outcome happens, and you just get there, you can have someone else do it for you. What's the worst case scenario? They screw up a little bit and you go, oh, I'm sorry. We're going to teach her to do a bit better next time. But here's how we're actually going to. Oh, well, things happen. Especially people on that level are going to be like, I get it. Whoever takes personally that you have a personal assistant emailing, you need to level up from those relationships.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe you had your assistant email me. Well, I've learned enough about you today to know how I'm going to conduct myself with you going forward. Because if you actually think that that is focused, dedicated connection time with you, then what am I to think about the actual in-person time we're going to have together that actually really does matter? And you have my full and undivided attention because I'm not checking my email. I have somebody handling that for me. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Stop paying $500 an hour for somebody to check your email. That's what we're doing. You're keeping yourself at the agency employee level of pay when you do those things instead of the $1,000, $10,000 an hour stuff that scales up a business and makes you a big ass deal.
How did you learn this, Amy?
Trial and error. And
in your life where you like it not a failure, but like, did you have something happen that made you be like, okay, something's got to give and I got to change this?
Yes. I mean, I've had so many failures. I've had business failures. I mean, COVID went from being the best thing to business to the worst thing to business. Like, it was incredible for the business I'm running, but I also had another business with I had another business with my husband, video production company. That was all Fortune 500 company clients at their live events. What do you think happened to that after COVID? It completely imploded. And so then where there's so much compensation. You think just like people open up a second location for their pizza shop because they think the first one's doing so well and the second one doesn't get the same time and attention. One of them ends up failing. The other one's paying for everything. So you learn this when you stretch your capacity too much. And I learned it again when I became a mom. I was like, oh, I have an internet business. I work for myself. I can do all the things, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. And then children come. Like, you want to talk about loss of capacity? I'm supposed to show up and be my best self on camera. My team is falling apart. Like, there's just so many things. It's going through it and knowing that you can go through it. You're going to be afraid right now because even Amy's been through these horrible things. It's not been sunshine and rainbows. But let me tell you something. The fear of the unknown is everywhere. You might be at that job right now. You might be sitting in that chair right now. You might be looking around like, I'm not going anywhere. These people don't even care. Like, I'll probably end up being here until I'm retired. You don't know. You don't know what's happening in the executive office. You don't know if you're going to get cut. The fear of the unknown could be there. The fear of the unknown could be in your own business. The thing that I love and the reason I feel I'm pretty unemployable at this point is I really like being the one who gets to decide how much my time costs. I like that a lot, especially with a 2 and 4-year-old.
I was about to say, I know that when I had kids, a lot of things changed. When you had kids, did a lot of things change?
A lot of things changed. Yes. I mean, the way I did business before, editing video, oh my God, I went from being the thing that I thought was incredible to the thing I hated. I'm breaking my back, leaning over a computer, rushing through it because my firstborn is like waking up after 45 minutes of a nap. And I'm like, girl, we can't be doing that. I was jumping back into video editing because the team was faltering a little bit. So I had to support on that front. And that was the skill set. So I had to drop down my pay rate there, but I'm also on camera. It's too much. And what you learn is early in the hustle. Well, let's go back to I was obsessed. The book that I just had come out, Good Morning, Good Life. Everybody thinks I'm a morning person. No, I was just obsessed. I woke up so early because I wanted to read the next great article of the new social network that came out and how it worked and all these things. I lived for it every single day. I lived for the reading, the research, the writing my own videos, being on camera, editing, doing everything. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I had the capacity. I was getting energy from it. I wasn't spending energy on it. I was getting it back immediately. When that changes, it changes. And what I learned not quickly, it took some time, but was that everything ends up being a job after a while. And if you don't get better at handling your time with it, you're going to have to work at the same level later to make the same money and get the same leverage. And that's what I learned wasn't working anymore. I needed to change the way I spent time that I didn't get energy back from in the business. So I made more money and was able to get more leverage with the time I wanted to spend with my family and with my kids. Like that was very, very important to me. So yes, I had to go through a lot of crap, but I also hired really smart people. Like I at one point I had 5 coaches at one time. I needed a fitness coach. I needed a business coach. I needed a video coach. I needed a coaching coach. Like I needed it all at one time because I needed that support. And it's not a load of crap because a lot of people think that it is. That it's like the coaches can just come out of nowhere. It's like, that's fine. But it's exactly that pessimism that's going to keep you at your level. If you're not at least reading a damn book, read a book, get out of your head, stop thinking the way that you think. Try to change your personality just a little to see what the opportunity is, because whatever you decide is true is true. If you decide I'll barely be able to make 6 figures in my business, but if I can make 6 figures in my business, I'll be fine. You're wrong. You want to make a lot more than 6 figures in your business for a couple of reasons. 1, you have to pay taxes. And 2, have you seen how much eggs cost? Like you need more money than that. And you're going to want to hire a little bit of help so you aren't the entire backbone of the business, because all that is a risky job. It's not a business. It's an expensive hobby. So you have to understand that when you are going to price yourself, it's not little old you. It's a huge vision. With my clients, we start with vision. Where are we going? What's the big picture? I need to know the outcome. I don't care what you want. I want to know your desires. Your want comes from a place of lack. Want to me is WANT, without a needed thing. You think it's a want, but you need it so bad because you needed it to be done yesterday. So you feel less than because it's not, and you want it. Being in a place of want is in a place of lack. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to keep telling yourself why you're right where you are. It's not okay. It's not good. You're not going to grow from that. But if you're in a place of desires, now we can talk. DESIRES. Define exact state if results equal success. That's what desires are to me. When you have to define what success looks like, it's clear. You see it. It might feel like a dream. I hope it does. Play it back. Make it more of a memory than it's a dream, because now we can talk about where to go. When you have such a clear vision and somebody goes, oh, hey, can you help me move? I need another set of hands. You're going to be like, no, I can't help you with that. It's really easy to say no to that when you know what your vision is. It's very easy to say yes to that when you feel like you're not good enough anyway. So let me just go help a friend out so I feel a little bit better about myself today. There's somebody far better for that job than me. Trust me. You don't want me to help you move.
So you're saying when you have a vision and you set it out, so everything after that, when you get asked these questions, if it doesn't align with your vision, you're allowed to just say no.
100%. Allowed. I have 2 kids and a husband. They want my attention, and I am an introvert. I already have built-in energy spending in my house that I have to grapple with. So it's gotten even easier for me now, but it's only easier because I practiced. It's only easier because I have that clarity. And I learned what's on my no list. What am I going to say no to? What is always 100% automatic no? So I don't have to waste any decision-making power on that. That's my biggest thing. Where are the systems we can put in place, even as simple as a never list? I never say yes to that, because then you don't have to sit with it and think about it. All of that is such a waste of time and energy that you could be working on your vision, or at least reading a book and enjoying your days, playing with your kids, not feeling guilty that you're not doing something else. Like, why can't we just be happy doing what we're doing? Just for 30 seconds, just sit in it for 30 seconds. We're always looking for the thing we're supposed to be doing. We'll open our phone in front of our kids and scroll Instagram to make sure we didn't miss something. Like what?
Mic drop. I've been thinking about that a lot lately too. I've got to be more present. I know my job, this is something I love to do, but also at the same time, those children are my everything.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your book. What are we going to learn when we tell us?
Good Morning, Good Life is a book that I wrote in 2019. I don't know if you remember where you were in December of 2019. I remember where I was, and life changed pretty quickly after that. But it was pre-pandemic. My business was in a completely different place, and I didn't have any kids yet, 2 years into marriage. But what I had learned was how to make the most of my mornings. I'm not a morning person. I want everybody to know that I'm not a morning person. I don't even know what a morning person is. I just know how to leverage my time and my energy at certain points. And what I loved about morning books up to that point was that they gave me something to do and to think about and how I could handle it better. But what I also learned was they were a bit prescriptive for my liking. And so Good Morning, Good Life came out of, what if we just filled 3 buckets every morning? So everybody could customize it in the way that is best for them. Movement. Do something to move the body, wake it up, let it know it's time to get going. Mindfulness, decide what you think about before somebody else tells you what to think about. And mastery. I know anyone side hustling will resonate with this. If you don't have time to work on your thing, then what if you at least started out your day chipping away at it? I think you'd feel a lot more confident about yourself if you were like, I at least did one thing for that I keep saying is important to me, to build my mastery in it, to become more of an expert, to be better, to feel like I gave myself a little something on the promise I wanted to make for me. That mastery moment is huge. And for me, that today, I mean, I work for myself, so I'm not side hustling and trying to chip away at it in that way, but I'm writing. Right? I just finished my 5th book, which is in draft mode, But if I'm writing this morning, it's like the next thing, it's the next idea, it's the next like moment that I'm excited about. I'm still contributing to that mastery building every day. Movement, mindfulness, mastery. I just updated the book in 2026 with Hay House, and you really get a glimpse into, okay, Amy, how'd your morning routine change after you had kids and the business changed and all these things? So where people were like, yeah, whatever, we'll take your productivity advice after you have children. Well, now you can do that.
Okay. Okay. Also, I love how you thought that you were artsy, but you're freaking writing books, you're making video. You're creating a beautiful life for yourself.
Thank
Did
you.
you ever think you'd be here today?
No. No. I think I always thought I wanted to be an author someday, but I thought it would be like, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff and write a memoir. I didn't know that it was going to be like, I'm going to be this personal development, productivity, mindset teacher, and that these books would come out of that. But, just like I had to learn that I wasn't creative, I had to unlearn that I wasn't an author. In my first book, I had to tell a story at the beginning, and I had to unlearn that I wasn't a runner. And I was like, oh, I could run. That's a thing I could do. And so I just feel like that's what life really is we acquire these limiting beliefs just because they happen. We're all going to have some. And if you want them to be different, they can be.
Is there anything in your book about limiting beliefs and like getting out of your own head?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Like,
like
tell me one
nuts.
big takeaway. Like, sell your book to me for a minute.
Okay. All right. Well, here, how about this? Do you wake up and do anything in the morning that you're excited about?
I do go walking every morning, and I look
Mhm.
forward to it every morning. I call it a money walk, and I
Okay.
listen to a podcast. But
Nice.
that's about it.
Okay. That's okay. That's fine. That you have your thing. Most people don't do it at all, especially with littles, like when you have little kids, because you're like, I'm so tired. I'm just going to sleep. They're going to wake me up. And then that's how the day goes. When you have decided that everybody else in the world gets to dictate how you spend your time from moment number one, that you will be in reaction mode from moment number one, it is a decision. The first chapter of the book is the first habit, and that's to decide. You have to decide that you're going to take that time. You have to decide that the morning is important to you because the promises you make to yourself are important. And I think when I think of decisions, I think of Tony Robbins, because something that he says is you haven't made a decision unless you've made a decision and then taken an immediate action.
Mm.
So I really hope that people feel that in that first chapter, because you have to make the decision. It's not going to go right every morning. You'll be lucky if your mornings go right once this week, even if you've mastered it. That's just life. You have to build up your resilience. But is there something you can do after saying, this is how I'm going to start handling myself in the morning? I'm just going to wake up 20 minutes earlier. I'm going to give myself something. I'm going to fill those 3 buckets, but I'm only giving them 5 minutes each. It doesn't matter how much time. Morning routines are not supposed to be this aesthetic Instagram thing. Like, it's just supposed to make you feel like you are you and you are making decisions for yourself. That's it. But if you say, I'm making this decision, what's the first action you can take? Is there something you can do, whether it's like, this is my morning routine corner. I'm going to set it up so it's ready. Or I'm going to run first thing in the morning. I'm going to sleep in my running gear. Like, what's an action you can take right now that says to yourself that you really did make that decision and that you intend to conduct yourself in that way?
I love that.
Good.
You're really
Yay.
great.
Thanks, Caitlin.
No, like truly, and you have no idea. Like, you've really just this podcast episode's for my listeners, but it's actually like I feel like it was for me, and it was like a sign from
The
God.
best podcasts are. The best podcasts are.
You just got to make the decision. I've learned from today's interview that you really just have to make the decision, and then you have to take action on it. And I'm also going to go do some time. I'm going to go audit where my time is going. And I want you guys listening too. Like, if you are not happy where you are at right now and you want to make a change, go take an audit of what you're doing right now, and let's see where you're getting sucked at. You know what I mean?
I have a ton on my YouTube channel about that too, if people want a little bit more guidance. So
Tell
yeah.
us how to connect with you. Do you have any fun things coming up?
Yeah, it's summer, living my best life over here, writing, playing with the kids. I mean, really, like I'm coaching my clients and that's what I'm doing. I'm making content, coaching clients is what I love to do. Talking about the book nonstop. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/AmyTV, or you can just search for Amy Landino. I'm pretty hard to miss. I've been around for a while. And just search Amy Landino. There's a verified account on Instagram. That's me over there. Like I said, if you want to check out like my P sheets for YouTube so that you kind of have good footing for making a video. I always tell people that it's the thing that if you at least want to sit down and feel like your time was not wasted making your first video, your first one's always going to be a little sucky. But if you want to feel like you did it in a way that you can be proud of, the P sheets are great direction. So just come over to my Instagram and say, call her creator in my DMs and we'll send it to you.
Okay, I'm coming like right now.
Yay!
Amy, thank you so much for your time today. This was magical.
Thank you, Caitlin. It's such an honor to be here. Thanks for letting me chat.
You are so welcome.